Okay, so this is the final installment of the preseason edition of KeithersKorner. I know it's a little bit, how would you say, primitive. We haven't added highlights or anything yet, but I really didn't feel like doing that for the preseason versions. This is more of a practice round, or whatever you might want to call it. So the Leafs finished the preseason with a 4-4 record. And I can tell you from a fan's point of view, they were very, very unspectacular. There were more cons than pros this preseason. One of the great pros, though, is Matthew Lombardi, who's basically made a miraculous comeback from that severe concussion he had. He actually got to get into one game, which was the final game in which we lost 4-2 to Detroit. He played the whole game, so that looks good. He'll be in the opening day roster. One of the great surprises of camp was Jake Gardiner. The kid looks poised beyond his years. I really do hope he makes the team. If he doesn't make the team and Mike Komisarek is not sent down to the minors or traded, you know it's all about money, which it usually is. Gardner should at least take Mike Komisarek's spot. Komisarek is nothing more than a pylon in blue and white. He should be traded to Philadelphia. At least he'd be wearing the right color. The top line of Grabowski, Kuhlman, and MacArthur. What can you say about them? They left off, or they started up right where they left off, and it looks like they're going to keep on going as well. Piling up the points as they did last year. It doesn't seem that anybody's got an answer for these guys, although again, it was just preseason. That and $1.89 will get you an extra large coffee at Tim Hortons. I think we're in a lot of trouble in net. James Reimer looked nothing like the kid who was in net from January to the end of the season last year. He looked shaky all the time. His goals were questionable. His save percentage is absolutely atrocious. If he doesn't pick it up, then I don't know what we're going to do, because we've got no other option in net. I mean, we've got Jonas Gustafsson, but that's not really a great upgrade or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see how Reimer reacts when the games matter. I, for one, hope that he plays a hell of a lot better than he has been playing, because if he plays the way he's played throughout camp, we're in a lot of trouble. As I mentioned already before, Komisarek, the guy is just brutal. It actually looks like he got worse over the summer instead of getting better. He looks confused out there. He doesn't know what to do with the puck when he has it. He either gives it away or ices it. The guy, he just can't do it. He can't play for the Leafs. As you all know, Kadri sprained his knee, which leaves the debate moot over who would make the team in Kadri or Fratton. Looks like Fratton should take Kadri's place in the opening day lineup, although that hasn't been discussed. I haven't heard any news to that yet, but it looks like Fratton will be in the lineup centering the third line. The Leafs penalty killing has been atrocious this preseason. It's been as ineffective throughout the preseason as it was last year, operating well below 80%, and that's just not going to cut it. The Leafs need a special teams amount of 100%. So they've got to be at least 80% on the power play and they've got to be at least 80% on the penalty kill, 20% on the power play. You've got to operate at least at those numbers as a minimum in order to make the playoffs, and the Leafs are not doing that right now throughout the preseason. Now, mind you had a different lineup almost every night. This is a time to see who can do what and how well. So the regular season should be different. Hopefully their penalty killing is a hell of a lot better than they showed through the preseason. Now, as you guys probably all know by now, unless you've been living under a rock, Clark MacArthur's been suspended for the final preseason game, which was yesterday, and 2 regular season games for what basically amounted to a brush hit, meaning he rubbed the guy out, barely touching him. Justin Abdelkader dove like he'd been shot in the head, and Brandon Shanahan, the ex-Detroit Red Wing, dished out the discipline. 2 regular season games that MacArthur is going to miss for with suspension for what amounted to a brutal dive. This is ridiculous and absolutely uncalled for. Abdelkader's a joke for that dive he took, and Shanahan's an even bigger joke. I mean, the stuff he's been doing with all these suspensions and the lengths and everything else, we thought we had it bad with Colin Campbell calling the shots for the disciplinary committee. Well, guess what? We just found his nemesis, and that's the even worse Brendan Shanahan. He's going to be throwing the book at everybody for body checking. Pretty soon you're going to have no fighting, no hitting, nothing left in the game. You're going to have men playing with women, for crying out loud, if this keeps up. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't know, but I guarantee you one thing: we're going to break a record this year for most suspensions in an NHL season. That's not hockey. Like this, some of the suspensions were called for, some of the hits from behind. But if you look when Toronto played Ottawa, Toronto played Ottawa, and Chris Neil intentionally stepped into Grabowski with a headshot, no suspension, no penalty, no nothing. And then you've got Clark MacArthur, who barely brushed the guy, barely brushed him, and he gets what amounts to 3 games. I'm at a loss for words for it. So this is, again, the end of the preseason. The regular season starts up on Thursday when we play Montreal. Hopefully everybody shows up and we can send those Habs home packing with, bumps, bruises, and a sad boo-boo face. That's it for now. Hopefully what we're going to do is try and get you some highlights. It's going to be, in the regular season, it's going to be done on a game-by-game basis, and I'll be talking specifically about that game unless something happens in the NHL that needs a discussion. Okay, I'm going to try and have some guests with me here this year, but all in all, just bear with us. This is new. We're new to this. We're going to try and entertain you out there, and hopefully we can pull the job off. But looking forward to adding some highlights to my commentary, and looking forward to the feedback we get from all the Leaf fans out there. Even the feedback from all the Senator and Hab fans out there. We know you hate us. We really don't care. Have yourself a great day.